So when you see this, look at the sun. And it's as obvious as could be. Flat Earth should be over. What are we doing? Okay, so now when you watch this, think about being a flat earther and everything you know about the flat Earth. Okay, so we're going to be looking at two things very quickly. First, we're looking at this flat Earth map. And we're saying, so if you are here, which is Punta Arenas, okay, what do we expect if the sun goes this way? It should be simple. The sun is to our north. It's going to come around here, and we should see it set to our northwest, right? If this is your kind of compass cross, or maybe more like this, it should be to the northwest. But what you can't see is the sun going this way. Sorry, it'd be this way, right? I'm trying to turn it around so you can see. Remember, you're looking this way, and the sun has to go away from you and to the west. Why? Because it has to bring heat here and heat here, because they get it every day. There's no question the sun will be above their head and the sun will be above their head. Great. So let's go see if that's what we see when we go down there. Because we go down there and we get this instead. And watch how drastic this is, and maybe you have to be there to see it. Because here comes the sun. Now there it is. Look at the drasticness of this sunset. All right. So again, look at where we're looking. This is almost south. In fact, if we kind of move this a little bit south, see if we kind of, I mean, imagine that. This is us looking dead south. And if you remember the video, this is what we saw. We were watching and we saw the light over there. See the light? We're like, hey, we could see the light of the sun, and it rose not more than 3 hours later. And I mean, literally, you could be looking out in that direction south, and you'd be able to just turn to your right a little bit, see the sun set, turn to your left a little bit, see the sun rise. Okay, let's kind of back away. Let's get down a little bit. Okay, now let's watch. Let's turn back a little bit just to see the sun set. There we go. So when you see this, look at the sun. And it's as obvious as could be. The sun sets right to left. How the hell is this going to Australia, which is over there? It's over there to the right. Australia is to the right of the flat Earth, right? Again, this is what I don't understand, how flat Earth should be over. What are we doing? It's over. Time's up. Nice happy face here, or titties, whatever those are. It has to get over here. Here. Right? It has to get here. So the sun can't go this way. It just can't. It can't go this way. It can't go this way. And that's even the crazier thing. We talk about the sun doing this, but it actually does that everywhere. How is that possible? Everywhere on the outside of the map, it's doing the same thing. This circle. But it's impossible on a flat Earth, so the flat Earth should be done. And there's and anybody, Dave Weiss, Ian, Crybaby, whatever your guys' names are, there's why can't you just get that much and accept it? Like, you don't have an answer, and you never will, so you're just like, nah, we're going to stick with this till the end of time. There's nothing that can be disproven. Well, then get out of the scientific discussion. It's okay if you want to have a religious belief in flat Earth. Go do that. But you can't be in scientific discussions because you're making people think that there's a scientific basis for you being allowed in that discussion. And there's not, because we can't do any observations that match reality. So again, one more time, we're just going to look at this. You saw what we expect on the flat Earth. We are here in Punta Arenas. We know which way west is. Okay? And remember, we were just looking this direction right here. We almost looked dead south, but we had to turn this way to see the sun go this way. Where's the sun going? Like, that alone should be the end. Let alone the fact that then we went to Punta Arenas. We went to Union Glacier, which is out here somewhere. And at midnight, where was the sun? We saw the sun over here. Oops, can't really see that. Yeah, kind of there. Yeah, it went away. There. So we were in Antarctica looking at the sun south of us, and we called Australia and said, hey, where's the sun? They said, it's above our head. It's here? Yes, it's here. No, we see it over here. Yeah, but it's here. Okay, well, is there a model that says that's what you should expect and see? Well, of course. The globe says that when you see the sun here, it's shining above the heads of people in Australia over there. I know it's kind of difficult because we're looking at a flat map, but you get the point. So it doesn't match at all observations, and we actually have a model that says this is what the observations will be, right? So we see the sunset here. We see the light over there. It's 11:30, 12:30 at night. We're like, what the hell's going on? The sun needs to be going the other direction. It just barely stays under there for like 3 hours, maybe 4 hours. And then it pops right back up. Now remember, this is in the southeast. Look at how much we're facing. So that right there, we're almost facing south. Here comes the east sun. It's rising right to left as the sun will do all the time. Okay. Now you might even ask, watch this. So this sun is rising right to left. There it goes. Now you might say, well, Jaron, how the hell does that rise left to right for somebody in the north? Well, let me show you. Because it's a nature of the sphere. So if we pull back from here and we're going to go this way and head north. Okay. Because the sun is going to spin around, we get past we're up here at the tropic. There we go. We'll get down to the ground. Remember, the sun was just rising for people in the south, right to left. If we were watching that same sunrise, it would come here and we would see it go left to right. There's only one shape in the world that can show us why we see that. There's only one shape that says you in the north will see something different than you in the south because of the very nature of the shape that you're on. So, if that's doing the same thing, Mars science, get a life. Sounds to me to be much different. It is using evidence. It is using everyday observations, matching them with a model that calls for it and proclaiming that that model is most likely true. It'd be very difficult to map an Earth somewhere it isn't and it match observations. If that were possible, there would be a flat Earth map. We would have a flat Earth map that worked because we just mapped it on the Earth, even though its observations don't match. Well, you can't match the Earth on a flat map because the observations don't match. That should be the clue to flat earthers that something's wrong. And if something's wrong, you should look around till you find a map or model that accounts for everything. So I know that if we went to these locations, this is what we'd see the sun do. How do I know that? Because nobody's ever debunked Google Earth, which would be very easy. Go to a location, watch the sun. If the sun goes the other way, we got problems. It's never happened and it never will because it's a very mathematical model. So anyway, isn't that crazy that we see the sun move left to right? The south sees it move right to left drastically. And Joe Hamby's going around telling flat earthers that the sun goes the same direction. Only one direction. That's what do you mean? We just saw the sun go left to right for us, but it went for people in the south right to left. So that's a paradox. On a flat earth, it is a paradox. You can't say the sun goes one direction, but it goes in two different directions for two people facing the same direction. That means the sun doesn't go in the same direction. So flat earth cannot answer that. So they must just dismiss it and say, oh, well, it just goes one direction and counterclockwise and clockwise are BS. No, think about it. The sun has to go around the north in the northern summer and has to go around the south in the southern summer. So you can just picture that the sun actually, I was going to say change directions. It doesn't change direction. It changes its position in comparison to the position on the globe, right? So when it's the northern summer, the people in the north, the sun is up further towards the north because it's going around the north, just like I just drew the south. I showed it going around the south. 6 months later, it's now going around the north. And you could go up to the north to the same latitude that we were at in Punta Arenas, and you would see the same sunrise and sunset, but it would go the other direction. Left to right, rise, left to right, set. And that's how you know you're on a globe. There's no other shape. There'll never be another shape. There'll never be another map. There'll never be another competitor. The only two possible choices were the flat AE map or the globe, because both had some things kind of correct. However, they had a drastic difference. Shout out to Will Duffy for calling that difference out and not letting flat earthers get away with waffling, saying, we think this, we think that. I thought the earth was flat because I thought the south was a lie. How long would I have gone on with that belief? I don't know if I would have ever come to an end of it. So now that I know that I've seen it, I don't know how to convey that to other people other than to challenge them to go down and see it themselves. Go to Punta Arenas. If that's too expensive, go to Alaska or whatever. What is the equal? I want to see what Punta Arenas latitude is. 37, is that what it is? Or 57? I mean, 53? No, I don't remember. Come on, Jaron, you should know that. 53? I think it's 53. I said go down here. Go. Thank you. I want to say it's 53. It could be wrong. It is a Punta. Yeah, 53. Okay. So 53 south, and let's see where 53 north is. Is that in Alaska? 53 north is Alaska-ish. British Columbia, 53. Edmonton. Oh, Edmonton's there. Really? So now if we go to Edmonton and we look at June 13th, watch the sunset be exactly what I just said. See, this is where I understand what they're talking about now when they say, we predict this, we predict that. This is a big thing in the fact that I can just say that. And so, oh, now I know that 6 months later, and then if I go and it does that, then we need to start recognizing that that is a predictive model. And if it matches reality, we live there. So let me go down here, and we're going to get down to 53. And we're going to go to about June 12th, 13th, because I think that's where we were at. Let's move this way. So now we're looking north, west. We're going to see this way. Okay, so we've got June minus. Get to the months. June 14th. Back to the days. Okay, June 14th, and we got a sunrise sunset. Okay, so let's look. So now you'll notice that the sun sets left to right as we called for. And now look at this is just the opposite of what we just saw in Punta Arenas. A drastic sun left to right. Now it's going to go there and you can see the light as you scan the northern horizon because now the sun is going around the north. So Joe Hamby cannot say those are the same direction when one of them goes around the north and one of them goes around the south. They're different, right? But he's saying it only goes one way. Okay, but then how would it be that these, if we go to the south right now, they see the sun go right to left? So this is the proof. And there is no getting around it, and there is no questioning it, and there is no rebuttal, and there is no way around it. So flat earthers will have to ignore this. They can't discuss it. There's no discussion. There goes the sun rising in the northeast, left to right, because you're in the north. So do you see that it's the exact same 6 months later in the other hemisphere because the north and the south are complete and total 100% opposites? This explains the 24-hour sun in the north 6 months later in the south. Explains the rise and set of every sun that we see. Explains the reason why. If a flat earther became the go-to belief and somebody says, hey, how come I see the sun set left to right and you see it set right to left? There would be no answer. Joe Hamby would pop in and say, oh, it's the same direction. They say, no, but sir, I see it go, well, yeah, it's because of perspective. You're looking, your left is my right. No, we're both looking west. Yeah, but still it's clockwise, counterclockwise. It's meant to trick you. And if you say that enough, people just start believing that. And they don't realize that the actual path of the sun, this is why I say, I believe that there's a lot of allegory in the Bible. And when God gives you his one and only son to be a guiding light for the peoples, for the nations, I look at that and say, well, God gave us one son to be a guiding light. That sun tells you where you live without NASA, without books, without education, without teachers, without professors, without help, without authority, without government, without parents. You can do it tomorrow. Tomorrow. You can go and verify what I just showed you, and then you know the shape of the earth. And if I'm wrong, somebody please tell me another shape that would give us the same results and matches all observations. And the answer is you never will. There's no other shape that would do that. Possibly a cylinder, maybe. I'd have to look at how the tops and bottoms of a cylinder would work, but I think they would have to do like a endless cylinder. I think it's like an Anaximander, and those guys might have believed in something like that, but it's not going to match observations. So again, this is just the opposite. So what other shape would do that? All right, let me keep going. Hopefully that answered your question. I think I spent too much time on every one of them, obviously. But that's pretty good stuff. I mean, I think it's a good proof. Good evidence. Good. It's one that I would love to sit down with any flat earther and talk to them and see what they would say. See what their way out is. If Whitsitt wants to debate, he can be ready to give us that answer.